Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing really well as always. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my guitar lessons and full song breakdowns, which it feels like I haven't done in absolutely ages now. The song that we're going to be looking at today is Raising Hell by Bullet for My Valentine. I'm going to be going over all the rhythm guitars, the lead overlays and the choruses, and the guitar solo. So just before I go into everything, I'm going to go through the gear that I'm using. I'm using my Matt Tuck Jackson RR1, which has been with me for absolutely years now. That's running through into the camper. I'm using Colin Richardson STL tones, and that's running straight into my Focusrite, which is my interface, and that's going straight into my DAW behind me, which is Cubase. So this song was actually released as a standalone single shortly after Temper Temper. I think what happened was after the sort of backlash of the Temper Temper album, the band just kind of wanted to get into a room and just start playing heavy metal again, I guess you could say, and start enjoying playing together. For the Temper Temper cycle, I'm not sure how much you guys know, but the band were in a little bit of turmoil, I guess you could say. So basically what happened is in 2012, Matt Tuck put the Axe Wound record out, and that thing was recorded just for fun, I guess, in about 2 weeks. Right, all those songs, about 10 songs, that record. And I think he was so inspired to do it off the cuff that way, he wanted to try it with the Bullet record. So he went to management, he said, can we do it this way? Just no pre-production, no demos. Let's just go in and see what we can capture. And they said, well, if you think you can do it, fill your boots, I guess. And they flew out to Thailand, and just the two members, just Matt and Moose, and they recorded a bunch of demos. And as the story goes, when they got back, the demos were just polished up a little bit, and that was released as the album. So it was a little bit disjointed in the writing, didn't really involve everyone. So with this, I think they just wanted to get back to writing in a room and playing with each other and enjoying playing together. And I guess go for a little bit more of the polished production as well. Temper Temper had quite kind of like a raw, scratchy kind of sound to it. I think they wanted to go back a little bit to more of like the refined, sort of polished metal sound. And this song sort of hinted at where they were going to be going next with the Venom album. The song actually turned up on the Venom Deluxe album as well, and it started popping up in the live sets pretty much after they released the song as well. The song structurally is quite simple. It's quite verse, chorus kind of thing. The riffs aren't too difficult. The solo is quite quick, but it's nothing you can't get your fingers around without a little bit of practice. It's a fairly simple solo by Padge's standards. One other thing I do want to mention just before I go into all this as well is my source material. So it's all very well and good me sitting here, well, this is absolutely everything note for note, and I am right. That's not good enough. The source material that I've used for this is there's a live concert. I'll link down below. Somebody kindly caught about 8 years ago or something like that, where I got a real good close-in shot of Padge playing the solo, which is the most difficult part for me, I think, to work out in this song. And I've also used the music video as well. Now, with music videos as well, you've got to be careful because sometimes they won't be playing everything for note, but you can see what Padge is doing on that video quite clearly every now and then when it goes in on him, especially for the solo, obviously. And that gave me some ideas of where around on the neck he was playing for certain parts and stuff like that. So those are my reference points for this, and I would encourage you to have those and have the track sat with you while you're going through this, just as a reference point, just to see if what I'm doing here is syncing up with the actual song itself. The song's in the key of D minor, which puts us in the relative of F major, and the tune-in is a whole step down, so it's D, G, C, F, A, D, low to high. D, G, C, F, A, D. So Scream Fire album is absolutely loaded with that tune-in. You know, it's your sad but true Metallica whole step down. You guys know the score with this one at this point. So in true fashion with these lesson videos, I'm going to break the song down for you. I'm going to go section by section from the very beginning. I'm going to show you what each guitar is doing. We're going to do rhythm guitars first, which are pretty much straightforward. There's not a whole lot of breaking off with guitar harmonies and stuff, like sort of like a lot of the Poison stuff did. So rhythm guitars are pretty much straightforward. Then I'm going to take you through the chorus overlays, which are the little lead guitar harmony things over the choruses. And then lastly, we'll go through the guitar solo. So for intro part one, I'm going to take care of the left guitar first, even though the left and right guitar are pretty much doing the same thing on the chord hangs. They do split off when they go into sort of the main riff just before they go into what I'm classing as intro part two. So we're going to take the left guitar first, and it goes something like this. Okay, so to begin with, dealing with the chord hangs, you're starting off with your open E power chord kind of thing right there, even though it'll be a D now because we're tuned down, but relative to just the positions that you learn when you're learning, right? So we've got that. Then he's going to go into this B flat 5 power chord right here. So 1 and 3 on the 5th and 4th string. But he's going to stack the 5th as an octave in the bottom. Okay, so he's going to bar his first finger right the way across there on the 1st fret across into the 6th string, okay? And the Scream Aim Fire album, for all the D standard stuff, is absolutely loaded with that stuff. So you guys should be quite acquainted with him doing that at this point. So you've got that right there. Strums it once and puts a gallop in. When it comes down to the dun dun, he brings his pinky up and does an F5 power chord right there. So he's got 1 and 3 on the 6th and 5th string this time. So that's palm muted, obviously. So I'm resting my palm on the bridge. Get that chug going. Okay. So you've got okay. Next, he goes back to the open. Back to that B flat power chord with the octave in the bottom. Or the 5th stacked in the bottom, depending which way we want to look at it. And then he brings it up to C5, which is 3 and 5, but his first finger's barred across still. Gets you that really big sound for your power chords, okay? So all together. Okay, then he breaks off and he starts playing the main riff. This is where the guitar on the right is going to hang out, but we'll worry about that later. So this guitar is going to be going grand total of 4 times. Okay, so that is just pull-offs, I guess, all on the 6th string. Okay, so we start off at 6th fret, nice and evil, and he's keeping it alternate picked. Don't try and down pick this one; it ain't gonna happen. Yeah, it's to get the groove. It's all alternate picked. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to get, like that. And it's important that you get this now because this riff pops up a hell of a lot in the song. So make sure you put some time and effort into getting this right because it will serve you for the rest of it. So, and I'm just pulling off there from the 6th to the open. And those opens are all palm muted, okay? Then what's going to happen? He's going to do all pull-offs. He's going to go. So he's doing 6, 5, 3, 5. Okay? Very simple. Okay? When he gets to that point, because he's going to run it 4 times, he's going to do, okay, this back to this B5 power chord shape with the octave, the 5th stacked in the bottom there on 1st fret. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, pause, another strum which is going to be not palm muted or accented, and then he's going to bring it up to the C5 that we had earlier with the 5th stacked in the bottom for 2. So it's a really strange rhythm, this one, but this is what's going on, okay? So, like that. Then that takes you into intro part 2 where the 2 guitars left and right are going to lock in together, okay? So it's all very simple stuff up to this point. So I'll play intro part 1 for you again on the left. Okay, and that's it. And like I said, get that down, and the rest of the song is going to be pretty easy rhythmically from there. The other thing I would say about your alternate picking there is just keep it tight. You know, keep it small. Your movement, you know, you're looking to not tense up, okay? Because if you tense up like here, you're just gonna lead to harder picking, and then eventually you're just going to burn out, okay? So just keep your picking light. I know it looks like they're absolutely going for it in the video and all that stuff, but really, in order to get it clean and accurate and in time as well, it's a lightness, okay? And it might look like I'm beating the hell out of my guitars in my videos, but believe me, it's sort of a controlled violence, if you like. It's a controlled aggression. I'm not actually... I mean, you'd know about it if I was whacking the guitar. It just doesn't sound good when you're hitting the guitar hard. So, yeah, just keep it light. And look out for those accents. Okay, that's going to help keep you in time, okay? So that's your guitar on the left. The guitar on the right is going to do exactly the same thing for the chord hangs. But at the end of it, he is going to hang on open, okay? And then he's going to join in with the main riff on the third and fourth time. So the last two times it's ran, okay? So it's going to look something like this. And that's it. I don't need to break that down any more than that. Like he literally just, at the end of the chord hangs, he just hangs out on his open E5 power chord right there, and then he joins in on the last two times, and then he comes in on the tail as well and plays all that. Okay, that takes us through into intro part 2. So for intro part 2, this is where the riff is just going to kick in now. Both guitar left and right are going to do exactly the same thing, okay? And it's just more of the riff that was being played in intro part 1. So I'll run you through it now. So it's both guitars left and right. Don't worry about anything splitting off. It's very straightforward, very traditional metal, okay? So it's starting off with the pull-offs, okay? And it goes in like this. Very, very simple there. So he's just doing the pull-offs, exactly the same as what was happening in intro part 1. 6, 5, 3, 5. You're pulling off to open. Okay, so that happens 4 times. Very, very simple. Keep your picking clockwork for the opens. And then at the end of it, the tail end of it with the power chords. Okay? And it's that simple. The only thing to watch out for this time is he isn't palm muting. Okay? He's just doing the... So everything's just played as normal there. He's not digging in there, okay? So that is your intro part 2, I guess you could say. I'll play it one more time for you. Okay, just watch out for the rhythm on that. It's weird. It's not what I'd have done, but I'm not in the band. I didn't write it, but it does fit. It's just lodged in there a little bit. The way it sort of like comes up. I don't know. Maybe it's a bit more natural for you guys, but anyways, there is your intro part 2, guitar left and right. Very simple. So for verse number 1, it's just going to be exactly the same thing for guitars left and right. You don't have to worry about them splitting off again. And it's literally going to be the same sort of thing based off of this pull-off idea, but there's going to be a load of sort of stop-start in there. So the first part of it goes like this. Okay, so that's sort of like the first section of verse 1, I guess you could say. It's literally just the same sort of thing with a load of stop-starts in it as the main riff. So it's going to be based off of the 6th fret, and then just stop it right there. And that last pick right there, make sure you accent that. Don't palm mute that, because that gives the riff the sort of stop-start sort of feel, okay? So, and then he's got the same thing, 6, 5, 3, 5, okay? And then I'd put 2 mutes in the middle there. Yeah, very quickly, and then get into your tail. Okay, then it goes into verse 1, section 2, I guess you could say, which is basically the main riff. So we don't really need to worry about that too much, breaking that down. But that is your first part of the verse number 1, and pretty much every single verse in the song, actually. So after that, both guitars go straight back into the main riff for 4 runs. So it's 4 runs of the start-stop riff, and then it's 4 runs of the main riff. So. Okay, now the only thing you want to watch out for at the end of that is he does some damps. Okay, what I mean by that is he chugs the strings off. He just damps them. So you'll hear it. If you just listen to Moose's snare, you'll hear Matt sort of chugging off over the top of it. The only thing I would recommend for this as well, unlike what I just did, is don't come too far up the neck where it's harmonically rich for this, because you don't want them getting in there yet. If you go a little bit lower on the fretboard where it's nice and dead, like that, okay? So it's okay, da 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 da, and that takes you into the chorus, okay? Okay, so just listen to the snare. Literally copy exactly what Moose is doing right there, okay? So what I'll do is I'll play verse 1 in its entirety for you now. It's very straightforward, it's very simple, and this is both guitars left and right doing exactly the same thing, okay? Okay? And that now takes you over into your chorus. Okay, so that takes us into chorus number 1, both guitars left and right. Very, very simple here. We're just hanging out on power chords, okay? Guitar left and right, it's exactly the same thing, and we're going to play it twice, okay? So it's going to start off with your open power chord right there, down the bottom. Then it goes for a lift into the relative. Okay, so that's your G5 power chord. Okay, which is 3 and 5 on the 6th and 5th string. Okay, then he comes over to this B5 power chord. So 2nd fret, 2 and 4 down on the 5th and 4th string. Okay, so far you've got at that point, what he does is he takes his first finger off and then goes back onto the B. So You could do it as an A power chord, but I personally think it sounds better as just by taking your first finger off and then going back into C5, your 3 and 5 power chord right there on the 5th and 4th string. So you've got, and then up to D5, 5 and 7. Okay, so you've got then it repeats. And that is your chorus, okay? One thing I will make a note of in the video, you see Matt doing his big open G chord right there, open chord, campfire chord. On the track itself, it might be in there as like an overlay, and it's something cool to do, you know, when you're playing live and stuff like that, to get that big sound, especially if Padge is just doing a power chord right there. But on the track, I have power chords. Okay, it might be in there as an overlay, so you can swap it out if you want to. There's no rules there. It's going to sound pretty much similar anyway, because it's the same chord, but one's a power chord, one's open. So what that would be instead is like, right, just to get that big sound in there. So you can swap it out for that if you want. So I thought I'd make a little note of that just because it is in the video and I am aware of it. But on my cover and what I heard when I was deciphering it, I just heard power chords. But like I said, it might be in there as an overlay, so use your discretion on that one. So that's chorus number 1. You play that twice, and that's literally it, okay? So for post-chorus number 1, the guitars do sort of split off here, okay? The left guitar is going to take care of the riff times 2 with the tail, so he's going to go... Okay, just like that. Nothing we haven't done before up to this point. Use your ear, sit with the track, have the track with you even while you're doing this lesson, just as a reference point. So that's your guitar on the left. The guitar on the right, just as a hang, okay, on your low chord right there, on your E5 open power chord right there, and then he joins in for the tail. Okay, so guitar on the left. Guitar on the right. So he's just joining in at that point, okay? That takes us through into verse number 2. Easy, isn't it? The song, by the way. It's very sort of repetitive. And just as sort of like a segue for a second as well, there's the proof in the pudding, you know? If you want to write a good song, use what you've got. Don't think about writing loads and loads of different riffs and stuff like that. This song is very sort of main riff heavy. And even for the chorus section as well, it's literally just a variation on the main riff with a little bit of stop-start, and then it just goes back into the main riff anyway. Yeah, so it's quite simple and it's super, super effective. The chorus, just some big power chord hangs. It's a very simple song structurally and as far as like the riffs go. So there's a little bit of knowledge there, I guess you could say, in terms of like writing songs. You know, sometimes, yeah, you know, you want to write something technical and something that meanders and, you know, goes off on one and stuff like that. But sometimes you want to write a song that's got no fat on it. You know, take Hardwired to Self-Destruct by Metallica. There's no fat on that song. What is it, like 2-minute 30 song or something like that? Yep, there's no fat on it. It's just like get in, get out. And this song's quite similar. It's like verse, chorus, guitar solo, outro, done. And the riffs are quite simplistic as well. So I think there's something to be learned there from that. So yeah, verse 2 is going to be exactly the same thing, okay, with your stop-start riff, and then it just goes into the main riff, repeated 4 times each, okay? The only thing to watch out for at the end of verse 2 is the damps. It happens twice. So this thing, that thing earlier, it happens times 2 this time. That's the only thing to watch out for. So what he's going to be doing instead is, and and then that takes you into the chorus number 2. So in context, I guess, coming out of that main riff, it'd be like and then into your chorus. So very simple. Use your ear on it. You'll hear it. It just repeats exactly the same thing as we did in verse 1. Okay. So for chorus number 2, you're going to play exactly the same thing. Okay. So just 2 runs to the chorus. We don't need to go back over that. Post-chorus number 2, however, is a little bit different, okay? Because that's going to be sort of like the build-up into the guitar solo section where the rhythm changes up. So I'm going to take care of the left guitar first for you all. It's very simple. Again, it's just more sort of left guitar doing the work as far as the riff goes, the right guitar hanging out on an open chord and then joining in sort of at the end. So the left guitar would look something like this. It's just the riff played 4 times. And it stops right there and does sort of the blues dime bag kind of lick with the pinches, okay? So what that is very simple. He's just doing 7 and 5 on the 4th string and then 3rd finger coming over onto the 5th string, 7th fret. And what you want to do is you want to pinch those notes. Okay? And how I'm getting that, I've got a whole lesson video on that. I won't go too much into detail on this. If you want to go and check out my lesson video on pinch harmonics, I've got a whole series of tips for you in order to get the best ones. But I'm just, you guys know the score by now. I'm just letting my thumb hit the string after the pick. Okay, I'm going real shallow. And as well, just one little thought I will give you. I go more into detail on the pinch harmonic lesson video. But one little thought as well is get to know your guitar where the harmonics are most rich, where you're picking. Yeah, it plays a massive role in how rich those harmonics are going to be when you're picking along the strings right here. So get to know your guitars and get to know where you can get the best harmonics to come out, okay? And another thing as well is don't overthink it. You'll build it up. Yeah, you'll be like, oh my God. There's a part at the end of this where I'm going to have to do pinch harmonics. What if they don't come out? Yeah, you'll be building it up in your head, and then when you get to it, it'll be like, they just won't happen, yeah? So just don't overthink it. Just get comfortable with it and just do it. Don't let them get in your head. So that is your guitar, which is over on the left. Okay, pretty straightforward. It's just the riff times 4 with that sort of bluesy lick with a load of pinches right at the end of it. The guitar on the right for post-chorus number 2 is it's just going to be hangs, okay, or a hang on the open E power chord. And then what happens on the 3rd time round that the main riff is being played, he comes in with a pick slide and then joins in. Okay, so it'd be something like this. Something like that. You'll get the timing on that, just listen to the track. Best way to get pick slides, pick strings with windings, so the 6th, 5th, and 4th, I guess. And don't start too far forward. You'll run out of fretboard, right? Especially if it's a longer one. Start back here, and you'll really get that gnarly sort of sound of the harmonics going down, okay? And just take your pick, sit it between the strings that you want to do. I'm doing the 6th and the 5th one, and just slide it down. Very, very simple, okay? And this way, if you start back here, not only are you going to get all those harmonics ringing out, you start down here, you go for a slow one, it's like, oh no, I'm running out of neck, right? So it just really ensures that, you're going to get the full thing in. So that's your guitar on the right, and then obviously at the end it syncs up with the dime bag lick at the end. So I'll play that for you. There you go. So you'll hear it. Just listen to the timing on that one and you'll get it. So now let's take a look at the solo rhythm, okay? Again, it's all based off of the pulley-offy riff from 6th fret, but there's a couple of variations in there. There's a part in there that I was playing wrong for many years. So, you know, for those of you who sort of know this song, I'm not sure if you clocked this part yourself. Let me know down below. Guitar left and right, they're just doing exactly the same thing here. Okay, so don't worry about any sort of breaking off. And the solo rhythm looks something like this. So that may have seemed like a lot right there, but it's really simple. The riff's coming in with the same 6th pull to 0 idea. And then what he's going to do, and this is where I was getting it wrong, he's going to do walk chromatically. Okay, so no spaces between the frets. He's going to do 3, 4, 5 for that walk up. Okay, and he's doing them as power chords. Okay, and he's sticking an open in the middle of them, and going down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so that's. And I thought for years it was 3, 5, 6. You know, your traditional. You know, like what we've been doing, but he's actually walking it up chromatically. Okay, so you've got. Then he's got very, very simple. That's where the 3, 5, 6 thing comes in. He's going A5, G5, back to A5, up to A sharp 5 or B flat 5, and then back to A5, and then down to G5. So. Very simple. You guys must be acquainted with that by this point, okay? So, okay. And one thing to bear in mind with all this as well is it does come in with a slide in. Okay, so that's just the one thing to preface it as well, which I forgot to mention. So, before you come in with these rhythms, just as it hits, just slide in. Okay, so that sort of first part. Then it repeats. Okay, then it does this while Padge is doing his slides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, on the open. The one thing you guys might not have noticed there as well is that is with a bit of studio trickery that's panned. So one goes left, one goes right, one goes left, one goes right. So it's like left, right, left, right. You'll hear it now. So left, right, left, right. Don't play that with guitars like cutting out or anything like that. You know, you probably track the whole thing as is. And then they said, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did this instead? And the engineers just like cut out the parts. So it goes left, right, okay? So that's everything up to that point, very simple, and then it goes back into the riff that we've just done. Just for one, okay? Or sort of like 1.5 if you like, because he's not going to do that walk up again. What he's going to do is he's going to repeat the tail end of it. Three times, okay? So it's going to be, and again. The last time, he's going to dig in, he's going to palm mute it. And then at the end of it, just end it with an open D5 power chord right there. Okay? Very simple. And that's it. Okay, you stop right there. Matt's vocal comes in, and that takes you through into the final chorus. Okay, I'm gonna play that sort of solo rhythm in its entirety now for you, just so you can see how it all sort of fits together. Done. Very, very simple stuff right there. Very traditional metal rhythm guitar right there in terms of note choice and with all the g on the alternate picking. Like I said, the trick to this song is to keep that rhythm nice and tight though. You know, so don't go digging in hard. Like I said earlier, just keep it light. And try and keep your pick nice and reasonably parallel to the string. I know we all go for like a little bit of an angle, but if you go for too much of an angle, you get this nasty scratchy noise. A lot of people have said to me like I pick really flat, and that's because I hate the sound of when I'm picking. Sometimes it can be cool or whatever, but you know, I want the notes to be quite clear rather than, do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I try and keep the pick nice and parallel to the string. There's obviously a little bit of an angle there, but not too much. And all picking is coming from the wrist, okay? So there is your guitar solo rhythm. So moving on into chorus number 3 now, it's pretty much exactly the same thing that you've been playing for chorus number 1 and 2. But the one thing that you are going to want to look out for is it doesn't start from the open, because obviously Matt's vocal line comes in. It actually comes in on the G. Right there, okay? So that's just the one thing to watch out for. So what I'll do is I'll play chorus number 3 in its entirety for you. So it's just the same thing played 4 times, but don't come in from the open there. Just come in from the G5 right there. Okay, so that would go something like this. And then you let that ring out to your heart's content. And just the one thing to watch out for as well is it just lands on a big fat open D5 open power chord right there. D5, E5 relative to whatever. D5 relative to tuning, E5 relative to position, I guess you could say, okay? But that's what you've got, okay? So we're just going to finish on that right there. And then you let that hang out, and that's all your rhythm guitars done. So that is all your rhythm guitars, okay? It's a very simple song to play, but it's really, really fun once you get it up to speed. You don't have to think too much about playing it, and it's more fun to play this song on the rhythm aspect, I think, than doing the solo, because the riff under the solo is that good. I much prefer playing that. So yeah, it's a real fun song to play. Like I said, just keep it tight with your alternate picking, and yeah, just don't overthink it. It's quite a simple one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the chorus leads, okay? I picked 2 guitars out, okay? We're going to do one at a time, and they sort of harmonize with each other. So on their own, they might sound a little bit strange. The first one that I'm going to do is what Padge actually plays in the live situation, okay? So that might be the one that you guys go for when you're playing along. Then what I'll do is I'll show you the harmony guitar on top of that, okay? So this is going to be played twice over, okay, for chorus number 1 and 2, and then obviously for chorus number 3, where it's extended, you're going to play them a grand total of 4 times, okay? So the first guitar goes like something like this. something like that. Okay, the one thing to watch out for, even though it's repeated, is it ends right there on that last note, okay? But I'll take you through the notes, okay? So he's just going to go on the third string. I like to keep this one all along third string. I see Padge starting it from here, but I much prefer keeping it on one string. It's just a feel thing, okay? But I am aware that Padge starts it from 14th fret on the 4th string. But I start here, just, it's a feel thing. You know, at the end of the day, you play things how you enjoy playing them, what feels right. It's the same note either way. Okay, so we've got 7th fret, 3rd string. And you're just going to walk it up. 7, 11, 12. Up to 14. Back to 12. Back to 11. And slide into that. Okay, then you're going to come to the 2nd string. And you're going to go 15, 13, 12. Okay, then it repeats. The first part of it, okay? Very simple, and then he does this, which is really cool. So he slides back in to 7, and then he picks 11, then he picks 11 again and does a half step bend into 12. And that's where, with the other guitar on top, because they're both doing that bend, the harmonies really sort of clash and sound good together, and got that sort of Avenged Sevenfold kind of vibe, or my Valentine kind of vibe, I guess you could say, but sort of really reminded me of Avenged Sevenfold, this sort of lead. So altogether, you've got... Okay, and then it repeats. And then you're going to finish it right there, okay? On the 7th fret, 3rd string, okay? That will serve you for chorus number 1 and 2, okay? The only thing to watch out for on chorus number 3 is it starts halfway through, because it starts from the vocal line and then the guitars come in, okay? So what you're going to want to do for that section is, rather than play the first section, as soon as it comes in and the guitars hang on that G5 power chord right there, at that point you're going to be here. Okay? And then carry on as usual. Okay, so obviously for chorus number 3 as well, you're going to play that a grand total of 4 times from that point, and then the last note you're going to hit is going to be your 7th fret. So I'll play it all for you now, chorus number 3 in its entirety. Okay, something like that. Okay, so that is your guitar that Padge is going to be playing live in the live situation, and that's one of the guitars there that's on the track as well. Let's now have a look at guitar number 2. Okay, so this is going to be playing the higher harmony. All right, so you're going to be starting off from 12th fret, and then you're going up to 14, and then 16, and then up to 17. So, and then walk it back. Okay, so back to 16, back to 14. And then what you're going to do, and this is going to sound really odd, but believe me, it works with the track. Okay, it really, really works as a harmony point there. You're going to repeat 16, 14, and then you're going to go down to 12, okay? So all that together would be... very, very straightforward, okay? You're just kind of copying what's going on down here, but you're 3 frets up at a time, okay? So then it repeats, and then it stops right there, and then it's going to do the... This time it's going to be 12 into 14, slide into 12, pick 14, and 14 is going to be a whole step bend to the pitch of 16. Okay, and that's all there is to it. And then on the last one, just finish on your 12 right there, okay? Obviously, for chorus number 2, you're going to be coming in sort of part way through, so that would indeed come in from your 16, 14, 12, and then... And then on the last run of that lick for your chorus number 3, like all the other ones, finish on 12th fret, 3rd string, okay? So very, very simple. I won't play that guitar in its entirety for you because it's very straightforward. You just sort of playing it the same amount of times as the other guitar, the main guitar for that part, okay? So I'll do one run, basically, of that guitar. It would sound like this. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Okay, so that is your chorus leads for Raising Hell. Don't overthink it on that one. Very, very straightforward. Just pick which one you want to do when you jam in the track, okay, if you're going to go down the route of playing the chorus leads. It is really, really cool to play that higher one and hear how it sort of interacts with the lower one 100%. So, you know, it's up to you which one you want to play. So next, we're going to move on into the guitar solo. Okay, so the moment you've all been waiting for, or... you know, the part that you guys have probably skipped ahead to on this video. We've got the guitar solo, okay? And I've broken it up into 8 sections, okay? There's no point just taking it, you know, just going balls to the wall with it. You know, let's break it down into sections. Let's analyze what's going on in each part as usual, and play it nice and slow, most importantly, okay? So the guitar solo is very typical Padge, okay? And what I mean by that is solos are very composed. We've talked about this before. Talked about it on my live streams as well. It kind of showcases lick after lick, like almost like all the licks that he's learned in a tab book or an instructional video, whatever. And each lick sort of like demonstrates a point of something that he's learned. Okay, so for instance, one thing will be will demonstrate one technique, then the next lick will demonstrate some sort of scale that he's learned. Okay, and then the next one will demonstrate bends, and then the next, and so on and so forth. So it's very easy to decipher his solos structurally, okay? As far as some of the fast runs go, it turns out I was playing them just a little bit wrong, okay? I was putting notes in there that made it mathematically correct, okay? And you'll see what I mean by this. Sometimes he kind of finishes his runs a little bit early, and I didn't realize that when I did the cover, okay? So my cover is reasonably right and everything fits, but if you want to play exactly what Padge is playing, this is what I've worked out from sitting down with it again this week and just going over the track, slowing it down, listening over and over and over it. There's a couple of parts on there where the harmonizer comes on, so he throws the harmonizer on the Kemper, right? And that automates harmonized notes. Sometimes that makes working out certain runs like near impossible because the notes are just so messy sounding, okay, especially when you slow it down. So what I've done is I've tried to do my best to get it as accurate as possible for you guys. If there's anything out of place, I preface it with, please forgive me, I've done my best to use my ear, but this should and will see you through if you play it note for note, okay? Like I said, that concert that's down in the link down below, if you watch that was my main sort of reference point for this, and it's a nice close-in so you can see exactly what he's doing. So between that, just as a reference point, and me showing you now, you should be able to get it right, okay? So section 1, the guitar solo starts like this. Okay, so this is demonstrating a pedal point technique. And what that means is you're going to be constantly referring back to this sort of open note that's going to be happening right the way underneath it. So even though you're going to be changing the notes, the note that you're going to be going back to is this pedal point right here. You're pedaling off of it, okay? And then in this case, it's second string open, okay? To begin with, you're going to go... So you're going to go 5 open, 7 open, 8 open. And then repeat 7, actually. And then take care of 8, okay? So it's... like so, okay? Then what he does is he repeats this twice, which is just open, open 5, 7, open 7, 8. And it's just, you know, The Exorcist, basically, Tubular Bells, right? It's a similar sort of idea. Like that, okay? So that's your first part. Then what he does after that is he moves up to 10 and 8. And then back to 7 and 8. Okay, so everything so far. Okay, and then what he does is he moves up 8 to 10, 10 to 12, and then finishes it with 2 opens, down, ups, okay? And this is all alternate picked, needless to say, okay? So far, you've got... And again... Okay, so that is section 1. Something like that. That moves us into section number 2, which is kind of this bluesy Dorian flat 5 thing going on, okay? This series of notes, he likes to pull out every now and then. It's a straight up Kirk Hammett-ism that he's doing there, and Dimebag Darrell as well, in fact, okay? So what he's got is this lick. Okay? So he's going to run it up 12, 14, 15. Then he's going to bring it up onto the second string. Start from the third string. When he gets to the second string, he's going to repeat it. So far. Okay? Then what he's going to do is he's going to come on to the first string and do exactly the same thing. 12, 14, 15. When he gets there, he's going to start descending it. Okay? So, just literally descend it back where you came from. Okay, so back down to 15, 14, 12 on the second string. So, and then you're going to walk it back up again. 12, 14, 15. And then 12, 14, 15 on the first string. Okay, so that's everything so far. Don't worry about the bend. We'll just get that right first. Okay, very simple. When you get to that point, do a half step bend on 14 into 15, so the pitch of 15, and then pick 17 on the first string, okay? Very important that you make that a half step bend, otherwise you're gonna go too far and it's just not gonna work, okay? It's going to be out of key. Okay, so you've got... Okay, so that section as a whole. Okay, and again. Okay, so that is section 2. Section 3 goes back to the idea of pedal points, okay? And it's going to be off of the second string again. This time, rather than ascending, like with the first one, we're going to descend it, okay? So we're going to be going back down the neck. And that would go something like this. Okay? So being very careful to take your fingers off in the middle there so you can get your open notes. Okay, so it starts from 12 to 13, and then 1, 2 on the open. All alternate picked. Then down to 12, 10 and 12. Then 8 to 10. So you've got... And then you're going to do 7 to 8. Then what you're going to do, very, very page indeed that, you're going to do 8, open, open, 7, open, open, back to 8, and then up to 10, then back to your 8, 1 open in the middle, and then 7, 8. So slow. Okay, so you put all that together. Very, very cool indeed. And, you know, that's quite simple, really. And it just goes to show that simple ideas like pedal points, you know, in guitar solos, they're far more effective sometimes than 5, 6 string sweeps and stuff like that. It's far more dramatic to have something like that in there, in my opinion, anyway. Just keeping it simple, you know, and hummable. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to just something that you wouldn't retain. Yeah, I'm hearing a melody there. And it's the melody that makes Page's solos so vital. They're very melodic. They're very memorable for that reason. Even when he does get into some of the sweepy tappy stuff, it's still quite tasteful and melodic. And it's just not overcomplicated. It is quite simple. Sometimes it's just the sheer speed that he's playing at, but speed will come. Accuracy over speed every single time, okay? So do not worry about speed. Get it accurate and just work your way up. So that is section 3 of the guitar solo. I'll play it one more time. Something like that. So next for section 4, we're going to be doing an Aeolian or natural minor scale run that looks something like this. Okay, very Page. He does it a hell of a lot, okay? And it's pretty much a similar sort of picking pattern to what's going on with it's literally the same idea. He's just changing his scale and note choice. He's gone from sort of this bluesy Dorian thing over to a minor sort of feel now, okay? And what he's going to do, he's going to go on the 3rd string, 16, 17, 19. So you're right up there. And then you're going to come forward and you're going to go 17, 19, 20. And that's it. You guessed it. Once we get to 17 on the 2nd string, we're going to repeat that part. So, okay. Then you're going to come down to the first string and do exactly the same pattern, 17, 19, 20. Then descend it, just like we did with the previous run. And then ascend it again, okay? So there's no point complicating that. It's literally the same picking pattern. Use your ear, you'll get it. Once you land there on 20, don't do that. Do this. It's just going to be a half step bend, okay? Same idea as earlier, I guess, but this time it's going to be on 17th fret. So bend it up, let it down, pull back to 15, and then pick 17 again. Okay? And then let that note sustain out a bit. Okay, so far, well, or rather that whole section together would be. Okay, so that is your section 4. Section 5, easiest part, probably the most fun part as well. It's just slides. Okay, so he's doing 12, 14, 16, and then 17. A little bit like with the harmony guitar on the chorus, okay? So he's just sliding into those. And as you can see, as I demonstrated right there, it can be easy to overshoot where you're aiming for, okay? So just keep it controlled. Yeah, don't hang on too tight onto the neck, otherwise you'll end up not getting there, or you will end up overshooting it, okay? So he's just sliding into 12 from wherever you like. And when I say wherever you like, don't do it from like first fret, okay? It's just too much, yeah. Just sort of a midpoint on the neck, yeah. Then up to 14, then up to 16, and then up to 17. Okay, and they give them a bit of a shake as well, a bit of vibrato in there. So that is your ascending slides. That's section 5. Very easy, don't need to elaborate on that. Next, what we're going to look at is this sort of bluesy, sinister Gates almost run. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is this. And we'll cut it right there, okay? So that is your section 6. What's going on? He's going to be pedaling off of this note right here, which is 17th fret on the second string, okay? But before that, he's got his first finger on 15 waiting. He's going to be pulling with the pinky from 19th fret. And then you can alternate pick this as well. And then hit your pedal point with your middle finger. Then what happens is he alternates between doing 19 and 18, okay? So the first run, going back to where your first finger is down 15. Second run of it, which is what gives you that Sing Gates kind of feel. And again. So he repeats it twice. Okay, so he repeats that twice. Then what happens is he reboots it after repeating it twice. He reboots it and he walks it down instead. So he just changes the notes here. He's just working with these 3 notes. He's starting with 19, then he does 18, then he does 17, okay? So check this out. Then he goes back into 18, so. Very Dimebag, very Sinister Gates. Okay, so it's got 19, 18, 17, and then back into the 18 there, okay? So you've got okay? If you put that together, you get this. Something like that, okay? So think of it as 2, yeah? So you've got the repeating, that times 2, and then you've got the descend. Okay? Okay, keep your picking tight, keep it small, keep it accurate, okay? Next, what he does, very, very Page again, to state the obvious, because it's him playing it. And then he's got this run. So he's outlining the same sort of scale pattern. He's starting with the pinky and goes back to first finger on 15. Okay? Then it does 18, 19, 18, and then first finger 15. So you've got very Twilight Zone, right? Okay, once you've got that, walk it down onto the second string, okay? Now, I argued about his note choice here, but he kind of does he kind of goes back into normal minor right here. Even though he's come from these quite exotic notes right there, but he does. He comes down on 19, 17, and 15. Okay? And then walks it back up. Okay? So use your ear on that one. Okay, so that's, if you put that together, you get this. Okay? And that's it. That is your section 6. Okay, something like that. And that takes us over into the unison harmony bands, which is section 7, okay? And he does 6 of them, or two sets of 3s, okay? So, and where they are, you've got your first finger on a 17th fret first string. You're going to bring your third finger over onto second string, 20th fret, okay? And you're going to keep your first finger where it is, but you're going to get your thumb over the neck, and you're going to bend. Use your second finger to help you. You can do it this way as well. But for a feel thing, I prefer my third finger rather than my pinky. Use your second finger to help you bend that note up. Your third finger is not good enough on its own, okay? Okay, and you want 2 sets of 3 of that. And the idea there, what you're doing is, the reason why it screams is you're bending this note to the pitch of where your first finger is. There it is, okay? But you'll obviously know when you hit it, because they are. They're in unison together. It's the same note. Okay, so that's the point of that unison harmony bend. Okay, so you want 2 sets of those, or 2 sets of 3. Okay, so that's that section. And then the final section is your minor run, okay? And it's very, very similar to the one that we did earlier, section 4. However, for some reason, he leaves some notes out, and it really hurts my head. But I've sat watching him and listening to the track as well. He's quite accurate, Padge. You can rely on his live takes quite a bit, actually, just to get the feel of where he's going. But I listened to that, put it against the track itself, slow it down, and he does indeed leave some notes out there, whether it's a mistake or not, I'm not sure, but he does make it fit, okay? So the run is going to look like this. Okay? And that's it. Okay, and that's literally it. I'll show you note for note. It's very similar to what we were doing earlier. So you're going to walk up 16, 17, 19. Then you're going to come forward 17, 19, 20. Repeat that, just like earlier. So repeat the second string. Then you're going to get to the first string, same pattern, 17, 19, 20. So descend it from there. Now, when you get onto the second string here, this is where the cause of confusion was with me. He kind of skips over 19th fret and gets this kind of pentatonic thing going. So pinky first finger, so 20, 17, okay? Okay, so that's how you want that to be up to that point. Okay? Then what he does, finishes it off, and that's it. You got on the second string, 19 to 20. Onto the first string, 17, 19, 20, and then 19 to finish. So, and end it very abruptly right there, because that's when the vocal line comes in. Okay, so all together. And that's it. And there's your guitar solo. So that is section 8. I'll play it one more time. And that's it. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll play the whole guitar solo for you now, nice and slowly. I'm not going to play up to speed. Watch my cover if you want to see that, okay? Because to be honest with you, I probably couldn't do it without the backing track and whatnot. So I'm going to play it for you now. Okay, so there it is all together. I'll play it again for you now, even slower. And there you go, guys. There's your guitar solo. It's quite an easy one structurally. There's nothing too difficult in there. It's just sometimes it's just the sheer speed that he's picking. Every single note is through the roof, actually. But Paggi's great at picking every note, and I think that's really important for guitar solos when you're you know, rather than relying on hammer-ons and pull-offs all the time and slides, like me, there's a lot to be said for picking every single note. It certainly has got that kind of a Zakk Wylde attack, and it just makes for really aggressive guitar playing, which is real cool. So there you go, guys. There is my Raising Hell bullet for my Valentine guitar lesson and full song breakdown. Head on over to my Patreon now. You can join up there and get a little bit more involved with the channel. Okay, you're going to get some exclusive content on there. You can submit requests as well. However, there's a poll on there right now where you can vote for what my next full song breakdown is going to be. There's a shed ton of effort and time that goes into these lessons, which is why I've sort of backed off on doing them recently. One thing I will say is my day job is a guitar teacher. And a lot of the time people say to me, like, where have the lesson videos gone? And the answer to that is, well, if I'm teaching the guitar as my job, sometimes when I make videos, I don't necessarily want to be teaching again. These videos, these full song breakdowns, they're about, I don't know, 2.5 days work when I fit them in around like all my other stuff. So there is a shed ton of time that goes into them. If you want to donate to support the channel, support these lessons so I can do more of them, there is the little thanks button down below, or just join my Patreon. That will get you automatically involved with more of the channel, more of what's going to happen with its content. And you can, like I said, you're going to be able to submit your requests and stuff like that as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, of course. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if I missed anything. If you've got any questions, just fire them down below. And I'll do my best to get back to you. Let me know what you want to see next. And until the next video, stay well, stay healthy, and I will see you guys soon. Take care, guys. I'm out. Peace.